All right, very happy to be presenting the digital job search and the tools that you could use to navigate through the jobs and how to ultimately leverage technology for your job search. In today's presentation, we are going to talk about the effective job search, mastering Google search, and then understanding the online applications that each company put up out there on job platforms or their own websites. We're going to talk about the creating resumes and how to create very strong resumes. We're going to talk about some good practices for applying to a job and some good tips, followed by how to professionally follow up on your applications when you just send out. And we're going to talk about some mistakes to avoid when you're applying for a job. And and the fun part is that we are going to talk about AI for job search. So you'd want to watch the entire thing and wait where we talk about how to leverage AI for job search. And we're going to wrap up the session by sharing some tips uh, uh, that could help you secure a job. All right, about the Process Policy Research Institute. At Process Policy Research Institute, we are trying our little best to provide services to the immigrants, to the underrepresented communities. Through our Immigrant Integration Services, or I3, we are providing integration-related trainings. Previously, we have conducted a lot of good trainings, both online and face-to-face, about housing, about education system, about healthcare, and many other. If you have missed, we strongly recommend you to watch all those presentations, all those seminars on our YouTube channel. And if you find them very helpful, you could share them with your fellow friends wherever they are. And today's presentation is going to be very helpful as well. We have started a series of talks on digital literacy, and this is our second talk on digital job search. And we're going to see the power of digital job search and how potentially you could secure a job through the tools that we are going to talk about today. All right, without any further ado, we are going to talk about the effective job search strategies. Now, everybody wants a job, like recent graduates, students, even those who are having jobs right now, and most importantly, those who have just migrated to another country. So they definitely need a job. And it is very important that in today's world, in today's digital world, you need to be digitally educated to navigate through the job portals, through the job applications. So very important to understand about the digital job market and the trends that are actually going on. Uh, uh, as per my knowledge, like now everybody is talking about tech, everybody is talking about AI, and everybody is talking about all this development. So whatever job you're applying, they are looking for these trends, and they are looking if you are actually able to understand, you know, and understand how to use digital tools. Even if you're going for a marketing role or for a finance role, they would still want you to be digitally and technically educated. So very important to understand those trends, very important to understand those requirements before you apply for a job. So applying for a job shouldn't be just sending a resume, but understanding the trends and the requirements. Now, websites like Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and if you're based in Seattle, Washington, WorkSource WA is another great source to give it a try and search for a job. And I am going to talk about LinkedIn in depth in later slides, and how you could potentially reach out to people in the markets, sorry, the industries through LinkedIn, and how Very important as well that you keep a track of what applications you sent out and what applications are pending. So very good, like to keep a track of it in a spreadsheet or any other application that you would want to keep the track of them. Yeah, the first and foremost, mastering Google search is something very important in how you correctly search for a job. So very important that you uh, use keywords, because all these search engines are based on keywords, extracting the jobs or anything like based on the keywords that you just give to the engine. Some of these websites have filters where you can apply filters. You can be specific about the location, specific about the domain, and uh, one of the most important things about like searching a job is the job credibility. Now, there are a lot of like fake job adverts out there. So very important that you understand how, what job is actually real and what job is not real. Unfortunately, that is a business now, that people just put out some fake jobs to just get views on their websites and make an income through getting views on Google. So you could use like, the advanced search operators. For example, for instance, I've just considered Indeed.com, wrote it in a technical way, but then I'll just show you how to use it. You could just write your keyword. For instance, I wanted to apply for a data analyst role, and then if it is, for example, you're applying for a marketing job, and then you could use like, you can be specific about the area. If you're based in Seattle, you just search for Seattle, and then would you like it like intro level, junior, or if it is nonprofit, if it is a company, whatever it is. So let's just give it a try and search a job on Indeed. All right, so I've got Indeed, and I want to apply for a data analyst job, and then I can choose. You can choose remote, but if you want to be very specific about the location, you could say you're searching for a job at Seattle, in Seattle. You just give it a search, and you'll hopefully see a lot of like recommendations made for this role. So I've searched data analyst, but then I've got like a lot of recommendations from different companies. I can see Tech Talk here, data analyst with your platform, and then I've got senior data analyst, and I've got, so you'll get like a bunch of different job recommendations, but then you can be specific about it. For example, data analyst entry level, and then you would want still search in Seattle. Yeah, you can see many of these jobs will definitely write entry level as well, and these are the benefits that have been like shared once you get into that job. So a lot of different recommendations made here. So very important that you actually use proper keyword. For example, if I just say marketing, and then you're not being specific about like what marketing, for example, as I said, like, now companies want you to be technically and digitally equipped as well. So if you just look at this marketing, events and marketing programs, social media manager, similar jobs, a social media manager, product marketing, and a lot of different jobs right here. But then you can be specific about saying like you would like a digital marketing role, and hopefully you could see like, okay, digital content coordinator, associate manager, social marketing, hybrid digital engagement specialist, content specialist, and different job recommendations. For example, you're applying for a finance role. Uh-oh. yeah, you've got finance. So you've got asset management analyst, budget finance and lead, finance lead, financial analyst. Now you could be very specific. For example, you would like for a role in finance manager, for example, or you can be very specific, finance manager in a tech company, or even like, for example, you can say biotechnology company. You could see like, if you have any sort of job. So finance transformation, senior manager. Yeah, there should be like different job adverts. The same thing you could do on Glassdoor. For example, you're searching for a digital marketing manager, and you can still apply these filters, and you can create a job alert, but you need to create an account first, and then you get the alerts related to that job, or a job that becomes available in your area. You'll get an alert. I mean, the same functionality I've got for LinkedIn as well. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. The next slide is talking about understanding the online applications. It is a very important step that you understand what the application is actually asking for and what you've got in the bucket. You shouldn't end up in a situation where you've got a very good job advert, and then you've got a very weak resume, or you've got a strong resume, and then the job advert is actually way way beyond the job advert that you have, the resume that you have. So it is very important to understand the online application, what the application is actually asking for, and then registering on portals like USA Jobs, WorkSource, WA, or some of the companies have their own job portals on the website. So you could create an account there, and then you have because many of these companies are handling applications independently. They have their own recruitment companies, but most of the other companies are dealing with recruitment agencies where they get people hired through recruitment agencies. Now, it is very important to understand all those online applications, whether it is on a third-party website like Indeed, Glassdoor, or LinkedIn, or thousands of other websites, or if it is the company website itself. So very important to understand the application. What is the application asking for? What are the requirements? And what you've got on your list. So very important to fill out the required fields. And maybe if you're creating an account on Glassdoor, LinkedIn, or anywhere, you have your resumes ready there. And most of the companies are also asking for a cover letters, and very important to write proper cover letters for the jobs as well. Okay, what I meant by the company's sites is I'll just show you here. Got, for example, a job as on Amazon. I'd like to say Amazon Jobs Seattle, for instance. So Amazon has its own website called Amazon Careers. If you just go to this, and you just basically need to create an account, and then you'll be able to see the job adverts. So I'll just look at the open roles. If you just see, they've got their own they've got their own job adverts, job portal, sorry. You could search for a job, and then you could apply for one. Easy as that. Or if you've got like any other websites, for example, you've got it like Sage, finance jobs. if you just see USA, if you just look at that, of course, like, other, it's going to be via Till. That is the name of another website. But Sage itself, if you just look at that, got like Sage, working at Sage, you've got the careers portal, and accept the cookies, open roles. So these are the open roles in different areas. We've got Canada, United Kingdom, India, South Africa, Atlanta, United States. And you can do a lot of like filters out here as well. So for example, if it is product, you've got like, oh, okay, you've got staff machine learning engineer. That is definitely an AI product. If it is sales, got it, for example, here in for example, bilingual French English practice success manager. It is in Vancouver, Toronto, and Canada. Yeah, so different companies will have their own different websites. Very important that you understand the application. I mean, for instance, we here at Prestige Policy Research Institute, we advert our own jobs on our job portals as well. So I've got the career, so you can just prresearch.us, careers job, and we put out like we accept applications. We accepted the applications for our open roles through our own portal. For example, here we've got community and system navigator, and you just click on this, read whatever it is, for example, the name of the organization, whatsoever it is, the location. Very important. I mean, most of the job adverts, they will write about the company. Very important that you understand, like, the company, the position that you're applying for, and then the responsibilities that you will be asked to do, and then the qualifications that you need to have. Very important that you understand the qualification and then see what qualifications do you have. So do you even, I mean, do your qualifications even match? Very important to do this. And then you could apply, like, through the portal that we have just, for example, developed here. Okay, enough of the job applications. Always worth, reading the application, understanding what the application is asking for. If the application is asking for example, if the application is saying like, okay, send us like 1-page CV. So you need to make 1-page CV. You can't make it like 2 pages. One of the reasons that many people don't get hired, or many people don't hear back, or many people like hear so fast and they say like, oh, you're rejected, is it's because they have not met the technical requirements first. So when a company says like, 1-page CV, or for example, a recommendation or reference letter, or a company is saying that, okay, for example, you need to have these qualifications. So if you don't have them, then what is the worth? What is actually the benefit in just sending the application? So that is why there will be a mismatch, and you hear your rejection in a matter of, like, say, hours. So very important that you understand the application, and very important to technically see if you are actually eligible for it, and then give it a try. Okay, let's talk about the resume. I just had like two lines about resume, and I said, like, many companies will have their own resume format, or they would want you to. I mean, every country or every area that you're living will have their own resume format. Very important that you see where you're applying for and what sort of, like, formats they have, formats of resumes they have. For example, if you're in Europe, they'll have their own Europe style of resume called as Europass. If you're in the US, mostly like 1 page or 2 pages of resume. or any other areas. So based on the area, it is very important that you find the resume templates. You can actually easily Google search it. For example, a resume, you would like a resume US format. Now, you'll definitely see a lot of like resume formats of, maybe you could see through Google, through Microsoft. We'll see if, yeah. For example, this is the US style. That is, for example, the US style. Maybe you could just customize it in Word, and then you could open it, and then you can start writing your name and the sort of like experiences that you have. Where did you go to school? All those things. Oh, yeah, here. Where did you go to school? The GPA and everything, activities, and that's it. Now, maybe other places, like for example, Europe. Europe has resume. I mean, sort of like in the European Union, you can create your own CV and then download it. You can have a look at the well. Your every place will have their own uh, resume style. Yeah, very important that you save your uh, resume uh, in a PDF format. And one of the most important points is this. So tailor resume to each job searching, to each job posting. Very important that you, I mean, it's not advisable that you use the same resume format for different job adverts. That is actually wrong. So make sure that you don't do that. Make sure that you tailor your resume according to the job advert. For example, if the job advert is asking for ABC, so your resume should also include ABC, for example, the skills. It shouldn't be like, okay, ABC, and then you select many other A, B, C, D, E, F, and then like a lot of skills, and then you will be overqualified for that particular job. So very important that you, or the, for example, the job advert is about like, a teaching role. And then here you've got like a lot of like, let's say technical, skills, and you don't have any teaching roles. So there will be a mismatch, and you won't get any replies, or you won't get shortlisted for that. Yeah. Now, the general good practices for applying to a good job. Uh, the point that I made about like tailoring your resume and cover letter according to the job advert. Do not use the same CV or the same resume for different job roles. Keep your points very clear, concise, and professional. Uh, Instead of like showing like more of responsibility, show results, what you have done previously, what projects you have developed. Uh, for example, if it is a technical role, what projects you have developed, and what codes did you use? Sorry, what tech stack did you use? All these things are actually very important that you need to show them, because people want to see results instead of just words. They want to see pictures, visuals, I don't know, like source code or something written down. They want all of these. Plus, very important that you research the company and you know about the company. Like, my strategy is like, okay, if I want to apply for a job, let's say I go and I study the company. What is the company what is the company all about? What they have done, what sort of like, let's say, um, tech stack that they are, working with, if I'm applying for a technical job. So very important that you have at least like, in the back of your head, you have got like, all this information about the company, because when you are creating your CV or when you are even like preparing for your interview, this background can help you a lot. Customize your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is a very useful website where you could use, you could create an account and then get to connect with a lot of other professionals, with the recruitment managers, with the CEOs, with the employees of a particular company. So very good way to connect and learn what the others are actually doing. So for myself, like, I use LinkedIn like on a daily basis. I get to connect with the people and I get to learn with the people and I get to learn about the company products and what they're doing and how they're doing and what, for example, tech stack are they using to develop a particular thing. So that is like my way of using LinkedIn. And I've got a something about like network here as well. Through LinkedIn, I get to learn about like a lot of like networking events, and I get the chance to attend all these networking events and try to connect with the people and learn from them. Very important that you have an active LinkedIn. If you're going to any networking event, if you're searching for a job, if you are connecting with someone, if you are finding something like very useful, you can start talking about. You can write it. You can start writing about. So all these things will help you stand out from those who are not doing any of this, because nowadays LinkedIn itself plays an important role. You get to connect with people. You get to learn about like people. For instance, it might be an advertisement for my website, for my profile, but this is how you could search for a job. For example, here I've got a specific job portal. So for me, because I'm more into AI, data, and everything, that's why I get suggestions that I could apply for these jobs. And if you're into finance, for example, or marketing, same thing. Or, for example, I want to sell, marketing, and then you'll get recommendations based on marketing here, based on your area. And at the same time, very good to have a good profile on LinkedIn, because through LinkedIn you get to connect with others, you get to see hiring managers, you get to see a lot of you get to see a lot of good things, to be honest. So very good way to stand out and to connect with the people that are around you, or that you want to, even not around you, like beyond, at least like are operating in your area, in your area of interest. Okay. Yeah, that's why it is very important that you have a strong digital presence these days. If you are saying, for example, you have done something, it is very good that you show the people that you have done it. Because if it is just saying like, hey, I did this project, and then you're like, okay, where is it? Show it to me. And if you don't have it, and if you don't have that thing like digitally present, people won't believe what you said. So it is very important that you keep the profile, and then you keep all these, for example, proofs, whatever projects, papers that you have done, have them ready and make them digitally present, so that when you talk about it, you can show it to the people, because people care about results. It is very important. I talked about the application instructions when I was talking about the understanding the online applications. Network wherever it's possible. Many of the people get the jobs through networking, through talking. When you go to networking events, it's always good to interact with the people and see what they are working, where they're working, what technology are they using, so how can they help you. And there is a a high hope that you get to connect with someone who is in a hiring position, and then when you share your interest, there's a big possibility you could like exchange contacts. They get to see you, your presence, and if they are interested, there you go. You got at least like a point of contact. Very important that you do this. And yes, use AI to help you. If you are feeling like helpless, AI is there to help you. We are going to talk about that in a couple of slides. Following up on applications. So yes, as I said, like job hunting itself is a journey. You need to learn a few things. There will be a lot of rejections. There will be a lot of like sad moments. There will be a lot of down moments, but it's all at the end of the day, all coupled together. It is a learning experience. So very important that you follow up, whether it is whether it is an application that has been rejected. It is good to follow up and say like, professionally say like, thank you so much for rejecting my application, but I would like to know what were my mistakes so that I avoid them, in the future. So, and there is a hope that you hear, and there is a hope you don't hear. So, again, at least like, you did your job, you got back and you followed it up, because a lot of actually people, a lot of these companies, they write you back and say like, okay, these were the issues. Okay, mistakes to avoid. I have already covered many of things, so I'm just going to do it very quickly. Using the mistakes to avoid is to use a generic resume or cover letter for every job. You have one single resume and you use it for every job. That is not correct. As I said, like tailor your resume based on the job advert. You're not following the instructions. Try to avoid this. Try to read what the application is asking for. If the application is asking for a 2-page CV, you could have 2. If it is less, no problem. But if it is like more than 3, more than 2, then you're in a trouble. So not to do that. Avoid doing that. Like follow the instructions. Typos and grammatical errors, not a very good place to make those mistakes. If you're not being dishonest, try to avoid being dishonest. If you are not, for example, an expert in any of that, do not say that you're an expert. Be honest with what you know. Avoid ignoring your online presence. Many people do that. They don't want to be online. They don't want to network. They don't want to talk to anyone. They don't want to, have online presence. It's difficult. It's a digital world these days. It's a digital world, and the digital world wants you to be present online. So very good, very good to have proper online presence. At least like get to connect with the people, get to learn what they're doing, get to learn about the companies, because these days many companies want you to be digitally present, and through that they would see if you are actually good at communicating. So avoid ignoring it. Avoid like failing to research the company. Very important that you understand about the company, the products that they are building. It will help you whenever you go to a networking event and you see that particular company. You could start talking about the products that they are building. So when you talk about this, that is like, oh, okay, he knows about the company already, and that creates a first strong impression. Very good thing to start with. If you're sending your resume in a wrong format, for example, in a Word file, because Word files in different computers or different systems or different, it will look completely different. So it's better to keep it in a PDF format. And you're not following it up. If you're sending an application, for example, and it's taking a long time, it's better you write a very polite email and saying like, what happened to the application. Or even if you got like, let's say, rejected, good to follow. Okay, so avoid not following up. Try to do the opposite. Try to go and follow it up. We have already talked about this practice. I'm just going to skip this. We've already talked about the websites that we use and how to search those things, to search jobs. Okay, so before I completely end the session, I would like to talk about the AI. So AI for job search, because today everybody talks about AI, and I thought I could talk about AI as well. Coming from a tech background and dealing with AI, I think it is a right place to talk about it. And AI can definitely help you search for a job. AI cannot definitely get you a job, okay? So, but it definitely helps you get one. There are two things. It can't get you a job, but it can help you get a job. Very important to distinguish between the two. You could use platforms like ChatGPT to generate resumes, to give points on your resume, to give, let's say, how your resume looks like, and your cover letters. ChatGPT or any other LLM models can help you, curate or craft your cover letters. But it's very important that on the top of what the LLM, what these, for example, ChatGPT suggests you, it's very important that you use your intuition and then make the proper correction. Do not. I'm telling again. Do not send an AI generated a complete AI generated resume to a company. That is wrong. I would suggest using AI, but using AI in an ethical manner, in a safe manner. Get the points that are suggested by ChatGPT and try to strengthen your resume based on that. Okay, you could ask ChatGPT to give you get you interview practice questions. You can practice with that, see how you have done. Ask him to to evaluate how you have answered, for example, one particular question. You can use AI to write cover letter drafts. I'm saying it again, drafts. Do not send the completely generated AI letters to a company. That is wrong. So I am in support of using AI, leveraging AI for job search, but in a safe manner. Maybe I'll just give a practice on how to use, for example, ChatGPT to generate a resume. All right, I'm here on ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT to help me create a resume. What's on the agenda today? I want to just have a casual talk. I want to create a resume. And then, yeah, ChatGPT is very happy to create a resume for me. But then, before I create a resume, I would want ChatGPT to suggest me some jobs, right? For example, I want to say, suggest me 5 jobs in digital marketing in Seattle area. I'll just say Seattle, Washington area. It should be, for example, entry level. You could talk about if you want to be very specific, because it's very important that you write proper prompt to these models, and if you the better prompts that you write, the better results you get from ChatGPT. For example, you say it should be entry level. I have a good knowledge of tech. Let's see what AI is actually suggesting. So because these models are very strong search based on, they have access to strong search engines. Yeah, here are 5 digital marketing roles currently available in the Seattle area. So location is hybrid, remote, Seattle, and then salary is $50K a year. Role, craft 80 forum posts, for example, social media associate, associate paid search, associate paid media, assistant accountant executive, corporate reputation, junior email marketing specialist, and additional nearby roles will consider. Okay, thank you for the suggestion. Now, if you just look at this, next step is polish your resume, highlight technical tools like Google Ads, CRM, platforms, email marketing software, because I did not talk about, all these technical skills, but then they say, like, you need to have these things. So for example, I want to apply for this job. I'll just copy this and I'll say, I want to apply to this role. Then you paste this, and I want you to develop a resume according to this. So because it is in the US, it is creating a US style of resume. For example, here, skills, meme and trend creation, Reddit, Quora, Discord. These are all the things that they have, the skills, experience. For example, look at that. Look at that. It's a beautiful. I would want it. You see, would you like this resume in PDF? No, I would like to. Also, I can help you draft a custom cover letter. Okay. Develop a cover letter as well. Now, my next step is, I've got this recommendation, but what I would like to say is, for example, maybe you could copy this entire thing, or you can ask ChatGPT to convert it into Word. I think at the next step, I'll just say, convert both in Word format. So it is analyzing in the background. You see all these codes all going on. Okay, you don't want to do this. Now we're just waiting for ChatGPT to convert everything into Word, and the next stage is to get. Okay, I got this converted, but then the next stage is to download it and start making corrections, right? So you can say, like, oh, your full name. So you need to write your own full name. You need to put your proper LinkedIn profile. You need to read this and see if this actually makes sense. It is a good point, but does it make sense? For example, the skills. These are the skills that have been suggested by ChatGPT, but do you actually have these skills? The same thing with freelancing, the same thing with the experience, the same thing with the education. Like, this is the format that you could follow, but then, are these actually making any sense? Very important. The same thing you could do with the cover letter. Do not send this cover letter that has been generated. Try to make corrections. For example, you write your name, for example, today's date, whatever date it is, and then read this and make proper corrections, proper formatting, and at the same time, try to read the application. Then you could use it and send it. So that is the ethical leverage of AI to help you with job search and job resumes. Okay, and this takes us to and hopefully we are going to have another detailed talk on AI. sometime this month or next month. We'll just keep you updated. Try to follow our pages on social media so that you get to know when we are doing these programs. To wrap up the session, again, three strategic points. The first point is be strategic online, work on your personal branding. Personal branding is very important these days. You need to have digital presence. You need to talk about your skills. You need to let the people know, hey, I've got this skill. You need to let the companies know that you have got these skills. So if you are digitally present, you're going to get discovered by these companies or by these individuals. Your resume, LinkedIn, online presence must be aligned, professional, and keyword optimized to stand out in today's competitive market. Very important that you keep all in mind. Leverage AI to work smarter. Now use AI to help you find jobs and help you strengthen your resumes. So you could prepare like a pro with AI, but again, I am suggesting the ethical and safe leverage of AI. So do not expect AI to get you a job, but definitely expect AI to help you get a job. Two different things. So stay adaptable and proactive. The job do not like treat the job hunting like a project. So it's good to organize, adapt, and use tools to stay one step ahead. Very important that you cope up with this. This is a journey, and this is a serious business. This is another stage of life. You need to take it seriously, and you need to be resilient and strong. All right. Thank you so much for your attention. And if you would like to learn about our services, make sure you follow our pages on social media, and that is our contact number and email address if you're based in King County. And if you feel like you need this service, you